Hello again, everyone. My name is Mike Davis, and I am the host of the Leaders Legacy podcast. I'd like to welcome you to another episode in our continuing series, The Leaders Legacy. We've got an amazing guest today and an old friend of mine. His name is Homer Delgado, aka ChiefHomer. Now, ChiefHomer, I should say, is the chief of police in Dilley, Texas, down in South Texas. I've known Homer for a long time now. We go way back, all the way back to grade school, and he's had an amazing career as a public servant, rising through the ranks all the way to chief of police, and he is doing some amazing things in his community. I can't wait to have him on, and I can't wait for you to hear what he has to say in the Leaders Legacy podcast. Now, you can watch this interview on our website or download it anywhere where you get your favorite podcast. Just visit www.APLLeadersLegacyEP6ChiefHomer.com, and we welcome you to check out our website. You can also reach out to me at mike@archangelleadership.com if you need more information about the professional leadership services and inventory and property management services that we offer. We also have a blog, and we'd love for you to follow our blog, check out our shop, and listen to some of the other episodes of the Leaders Legacy podcast. You can watch our videos. We've got training videos on ethics and leadership and several other topics. So please check out www.APLGuardian.com. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our guest, ChiefHomer. ChiefHomer, gosh, it's great to have you on. So thankful that you took a little bit of your time to join us on the Leaders Legacy podcast. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
It has been. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit about yourself. You and I have known each other for many years. We go all the way back to grade school. Tell us about what you've been doing and what you're currently doing now.
Well, I have to admit, back in grade school, I was a little confused as a youth, but I'm trying to get on the right path as of recent. So now I've been chief of police of the City of Dilley for about a year and 3 months. We've made a ton of changes over here. I'm very excited about coming to work every day. We're having a really good time. We've been able to hold on to some really good people that were here when we started. And every day that we come to work, we make improvements. So really enjoying what we're doing lately. I started law enforcement in 1995 in a small town called Ingleside, Texas. I worked there as a patrol officer for a few years before moving to the county in that area, which was San Patricio County. I took some time there to learn pretty much everything that I possibly could. It was a pretty busy agency, so I was lucky enough to experience quite a few things. After that, I went to the city of Cherry Hills in San Antonio. San Antonio is where I grew up and worked there for a while, which offered me tremendous experience in meeting with different cultures. It's pretty much in the downtown center of San Antonio, so you're able to meet with all kinds of different people and deal with challenges that different cultures and different lifestyles would offer. Throughout the years, I worked at several different agencies in South Texas and Central Texas, so I've been lucky to experience several things. In 2012, I was a survivor of an officer-involved shooting in where I actually shot 2 people. So that was probably the most significant event in my law enforcement career. Luckily, I came through that, and the 2 individuals did live through the incident also, so everything turned out as well as possible. I have recently been made chief of police in the city of Dilley. Started in July of 2020, and we've made some tremendous changes. Every day we come to work, we have a really good time with the progress that we're doing and reaching out to the community. So I've accepted a leadership role that I thought I was prepared for, but every day that I come to work, there are different challenges that, we never even considered. But we're enjoying it. We're having a great time, and really happy to be here with you today.
Well, we're really excited to have you today. And so the theme of our podcast is leadership and mentorship, and it's known as the Leader's Legacy. So I want to ask you a couple of questions just about your earliest memory as a leader, what stands out in your mind? Is it something from your early childhood on that might have played an influence in where you are today? You've had a vast array of experience throughout your life.
I have. Of course, my earliest memory of leadership would come from my mother and father. Throughout my life, I've been very, very blessed to have amazing people in my life who demonstrated leadership before I even knew the definition of leadership. I had no idea. But luckily, these people demonstrated integrity and making good choices and servitude. These are the things that, as a leader, you want to focus on. And growing up, I think my first, probably largest influence would have been my mother.
That's fantastic. And as you moved into your career in law enforcement, you followed your vocation and you worked in a series of capacities. At some point, you decided that you wanted to be a supervisor.
Yes.
What helped you make that decision to want to take on that role?
As a young officer, we aspire to succeed and make things of ourselves. And looking at some of the more experienced officers, I kind of foolishly thought, yeah, I can do that. And I don't think I was truly prepared for some of the things that came with the leadership role. But I was made corporal at the city of Charo Hills, so that was probably my first leadership position. I thought I had prepared myself and been ready for it, but looking back, I really wasn't. I wasn't ready. I didn't understand some of the things that needed to be done, and how to deal with different personalities that the people you work with, and how to inspire people. I made a lot of mistakes and failures, but learning from those experiences, looking back, I think if I had taken the time to understand what truly involved in that leadership role, I probably would have done better.
And what you're saying really is very common, even in some of the other guests and our peers, who have expressed the same feeling over time. So somebody who may be listening or watching who may want to better prepare themselves, what piece of advice would you give them, whether it be a book or in better preparing themselves for the role that they want to assume as a supervisor?
So I'll tell you, never stop learning. One of the things that I often look back on, and I think someone at FBI LEDA gave us this quote, is if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, because you're not going to learn anything. And if you want to continue to develop yourself professionally and personally, I think it's very important to surround yourself with people who know more than you so that you can learn every single day. Moving to some of the books that I've read that I've utilized in my everyday life is It's Your Ship. This is a story about one of the worst ships in the Navy. And somebody came in and took command of the ship and was able to guide the sailors to realize, hey, this is your ship. Let's make it the best you can. And through hard work, determination, and trying different initiatives, they were able to make it one of the best ships in the Navy. And I utilized that way of thinking and that theory here at the City of Dilley in hopes that we can make improvements every day. Another book is, Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It offers tremendous information on how to influence and inspire people to buy into the direction you want to go. There are so many, I can't even go down the list of different books and people to listen to, TED Talks and John Maxwell and different things, but never stop searching out that information on personal and professional development, because you can learn every day.
And that's great advice and excellent resources. I've actually read It's Your Ship. That's an amazing book. So
yes.
Yeah, that is really good, especially for change management or new leaders. And I will attest that just in following social media, you are making great headway and
Thank you.
actually being able to go and visit the city to see where y'all are now. Kudos to you, Chief, because you're doing amazing
Thank you so
things.
much.
And the community really shows their level of appreciation for your leadership and what you're doing over there in the city.
Yeah, if you allow me to expand on that.
Definitely.
When I started here, I wondered how we would gauge our success with the department. And the community was very standoffish at first, and there wasn't a whole lot of interaction. So that was one of the things that we focused on. And recently, we sat down with our team over here, and we were trying to figure out, are we doing the right thing? Are we going the right direction for the community? Because that's very important to us. There's a local family who would donate every year to the police department to put back into the community with funds to do community initiatives. They would donate $100 every year. Well, about 3 months ago, they walked into the police department and handed us a check for $10,000. Oh, wow. They said, y'all are doing an amazing job. We want to spend some money here in the city. If y'all want to use this for whatever y'all want. And of course, we are putting every cent back into the city through initiatives for the kids. We're looking at developing scholarships. We didn't purchase anything that would go towards the police department. We're purchasing everything to go back into the community. So that was one way that we were able to gauge that, we're making a difference. We're building relationships, and we're able to reach out to these community members who are showing their appreciation.
That's amazing, Chief. And again, that speaks volumes as to building trust. Now, let me ask you a question, Chief. If you had the opportunity to talk to 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 young people, because eventually we're not going to be in these roles forever.
Right.
You want someone to fill your shoes. What would you tell them?
I would first tell them, please dig deep. Look into this leadership in any career, law enforcement, private business, public entities, and be sure it's something that you want to do. It's very difficult. It can be rewarding, but you're going to run into pitfalls and challenges on a daily basis. Dealing with personalities of different people, whether it be your coworkers or members of the community or customers or anything like that, you need to make sure that you are prepared for it. Every day I come to work and we run into challenges, and I pray that I'm prepared for what I'm going to face on a daily basis, but there's always that surprise. Now, with that being said, this is one of the most rewarding careers that you can possibly have. The smiles from the kids, the people you meet who are in crisis, and you're able to help them through that, it's absolutely amazing, the feeling you get when you know that you've made a difference in someone's life that you've never known before. Moving on, you'll never possibly see them again, but you know that that day you were able to help them get through something that they did not know how to work through. I would just like to tell people, dig deep. You're going to give a lot of yourself, but you're going to get a lot of very rewarding feelings from it.
And that's very important for them to know, and we appreciate that. And let me ask you one final question, Chief. You've had a long, professional, reputable career, and you've got a lot more to give. We know that your influence is going to last. What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to go back and think, what did Chief Homer leave us?
So this is probably one of the most difficult questions to ask. I believe that as a leader, it's about creating more leaders. It's about helping to guide the next generation into making the right choices so that they can lead and continue to build on what we have learned from the people before us. So my legacy, I would hope to leave people who look back fondly and say, I helped them. Chief Homer was able to help me. Now, whether that be the community or whether that be the officers that I work with, helping them develop personally, professionally, that's what I want to leave behind, is that I was able to help people. And I know it sounds a little corny, but honestly, at this age in my life, I really enjoy helping people succeed. I really enjoy watching them with their family improving their position in life, financially, any way they possibly can, to develop people the way people in the past have helped develop myself. That encouragement and that leading people is what I would like to leave behind. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have people who believed in me and helped me get to where I am.
Those are very inspiring words, and you do honor them. And I know that personally, that you honor those words. And I know that you will meet that legacy. People will remember you for that. And, as part of the mantra that we've come to use on this podcast is the word serviam. And the word serviam means I will serve. And it comes from Archangel Michael, who stood to face the devil when the devil said that he would not serve. He said, "Ante serviam, I will not serve you." And the only angel, the guardian, who stood up and yelled back at the devil, at the demon, said, "Serviam, I will serve." And you reflect that as a guardian, and we appreciate
thank you very much.
We appreciate you for your time. Thank you for being on our podcast and our video blog. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell our viewers or listeners?
Building on the serviam, I think as a culture, law enforcement, we've always had in the past a warrior culture. And I would like our culture to work more towards a guardian culture. If you sit down and you think about the movie 300, I know a lot of people have seen it, and you've seen the warriors of Sparta. When you think about them, they're very capable of protecting their people, protecting their community. And then you sit down and think about St. Michael, who is also very capable of protecting the people he is guarding. Which one would you like to show up when your family's in need? I'll tell you what, I want St. Michael to show up because I know he can take care of things the same way that the warrior can. So I would just like to challenge our younger law enforcement officers to consider working towards being a guardian of their community. Because believe me, you can still do exactly what needs to be done to keep those people safe without having such a warrior mentality. Now, this is something where, when I was younger, believe me, the warrior mentality and the warrior culture in law enforcement is what we abide by. We cut our hair short. We left our fingernails a little long just in case we needed that edge during a struggle. But as I've grown and been, I guess you would call it, more educated on how to serve the community, I think that it would benefit us more to be of a guardian culture. So just a thought that I've been kind of focusing on as of recent. And I think that looking around at our society and our cultural differences that we've been challenged with, I think it may be time for law enforcement to evolve and change into something where we can build relationships and trust with our communities. But thank you very much for the opportunity. Hopefully we get to work together soon on other projects. And I thank you for all the help and guidance that you've given me. You were actually on my list of people I was going to name who were mentors and leaders that I looked up to. You have demonstrated tremendous leadership, focus, and guidance to where I have nothing but the highest respect for you. Thank you so much for showing us the way that we should actually progress in life. You're tremendous. You've done a tremendous job in your career. Thank you.
I very much appreciate that. It's absolutely reciprocated. Chief, thank you so much for your time. It was an honor having you on, and we hope to work together very soon.
Yes.
So that's our show, and I appreciate all of you for taking the time to listen to Chief Homer today. He's an amazing human being. I'm glad to call him a friend, and we look forward to working with him in the future, and hopefully we'll have you back on as a guest and see you down the line, see how you're doing.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day. Be safe.
And once again, we'd like to thank Chief Homer for his leadership and all that he's doing in the community to continue to serve and honor the Serviam legacy. This is the Leaders Legacy podcast, where we bring to you public servants and guardians in the community, hopefully to inspire a continuation of the professionalism and the positive connections that these leaders have conducted in their career and leaving behind a legacy of community initiatives, partnerships, and best practices to inspire the next generation. We'd like to thank you for your time, and we welcome you to come back and check out the Leaders Legacy podcast and visit our website at APLGuardian.com. Check out our shop where you can get some gifts and follow our leadership blog. On the website, you can also check out a video of these episodes through our YouTube page and other social media outlets. If you're interested in contacting some of the leaders that may have inspired you, reach out to me at mike@archangelleadership.com. We provide consulting services in change management, procedural accountability, and community initiatives. So feel free to reach out to me direct and follow us on social media. Thanks again, and we hope to see you back at the Leaders Legacy podcast and video blog at APLGuardian.com. Servia, my friends.